Hello, everybody. Sandy here for Fridays with Sandy. In this case, Freaky Friday the 13th. We've got a very exciting character. Uh, he's a member of the United States Army. He's a first lieutenant, and he's got a great set of experiences. He's interested in going to Cornell, the University of Texas, and Duke. You want to say hello to everybody, William, and maybe introduce yourself in 2 minutes.
Hey everyone, I'm William. I'm an Army officer down in Fort Bliss, Texas right now. I'm a logistics officer, and I'm looking to go to business school to break into management consulting once I finish my application.
Good. What do you do in the Army?
Right now, I'm a logistics officer serving as a company executive officer. So the number two in an organization of about 120 personnel. Number fluctuates, but what we do is we provide logistical support on maintenance and repair for a brigade of about 4,000 some personnel and all their equipment.
Okay, that sounds impressive in terms of the numbers. What I want to, one of the things we discussed in the pre-interview here was this tremendous experience you have. You attended the Army's, I'm sorry about the pronunciation, WINSEC school. What is that, and what did you do?
Yeah, WINSEC was my favorite training I've done throughout my time in the Army. It's a school in Fort Benning, Georgia. And what you do is, when I went there, I was a cadet in college, and I trained with about 130 other Latin American cadets. And you're part of a team that helps teach them American doctrine.
Okay, so the WINSAC school are officers from America who go to this school, and you help train cadets from across Latin America who are not joining the U.S. Army, right? What armies are they joining?
That's correct. So these are all cadets that will be joining the armies of Colombia, Peru, and the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, that's great. You see, what you have to do is present yourself to the business schools as someone with a you're a Mexican-American dual citizen, which is really important to them, although I don't know how they'll characterize you as an international or as a underrepresented minority or just another applicant. That would be an interesting question that maybe we can get some clarity on after the interview and post it under the interview. And then, so you've got this Mexican-American dual citizen distinguished thing. And then you've got, on the raw numbers, you've got a 700 GMAT, which is okay for the schools you're applying to, which is Cornell, University of Texas, and Duke. That GMAT score is pretty much in line with their GMAT scores. So all that's good. The only boo-boo you've got is this 2.72 GPA. The GPA of those schools are usually in the 3-4 range. So that's a big ask, okay? You're coming in with a 2.72 GPA, and their average GPA is like 3.4. So why should, in light of that, explain the 2.72 and why should they take you? This is real important.
So the 2.72 was me just not being able to effectively balance at the time the demands of school, work, and ROTC. So I did ROTC throughout my time in college with the goal of commissioning as an officer. But I had to work because I wasn't on scholarship. And that was basically taking up weekends and whatever shifts I could fill in. Eventually, I was able to kind of pick it back up my last year. I stopped working.
Yeah, did your grades go up?
Yes, so I went from the 2.7, fall I got a 3.3, I believe, and then spring I got a 3.6.
I mean, throughout college, did your grades go up?
They did not go up. They pretty much hovered around that 2.7 area for the three.
Okay. This is critical. You've got to explain that. You're a perfectly admissible candidate at Cornell, Texas, and Duke.
Mhm.
And they'd be very interested in the fact you're a dual citizen, the fact that you have tremendous background in leadership, the fact that you've, taught military doctrine to 130 cadets from across Latin America, tremendous international experience, particularly in Latin America, which is often underrepresented in American business schools versus Asia and Europe. So they're all for you, okay? You're bringing a lot. And then you've got to make them swallow the 272. This is critical. There's nothing else. Well, just let me say it's critical. So you need to explain how that happened and why it's not going to happen again. And if you've been a fan of my broadcast, what is the central idea in that essay about the 272?
That it's not a key indicator of how I'll perform at the institute.
You're the man. Right. It is not a predictor of how I'm going to perform in your school, and here is why. Okay. My undergraduate GPA of 272, ouch, is not a predictor of how I'm going to perform at your business school, and here is why. The 272 was based on the fact that I didn't, it took me a while to adjust to college. I wasn't focused on my academics. I spent a lot of time focused on ROTC and also managing. I also had to get, jobs while I was a student, and you list all that. And you say that learning how to balance that was something I didn't master, but now I have learned how to balance various things. And I'm also going to be 100% dedicated to your business school once I attend. So I won't have any other distractions. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
That essay is convincing them of that, both in the essay and in an interview, is critical. Everything else here is right up their alley. If you could, you said you're retaking the GMAT?
Yes, I'll be retaking the GMAT in about 2 weeks.
All right, let me give you some tough love on that. The GMAT could help you if you get like a 730. Those schools would say, man, this guy's got a 730, and our average score is 700 or lower. So this guy would help us in the rankings, and it's nice to have a 730 guy. So it's like a dowry, okay? All right, let me go through your chances here. What's your first choice?
I'm struggling to pick a first choice right now, honestly. I'm thinking maybe just because my family's nearby Cornell.
Okay, what your goal is to become a consultant and to join maybe the big three or whatever they call themselves these days?
Yes, that's my goal right now.
I think you'd have an easier time getting a job at the big three from Cornell, University in Texas, and Duke. Can be done. They hire people from those schools, but they tend to hire high performers. So your goal when you get in to Cornell or Texas or Duke is to try and distinguish yourself. Consulting firms like military people. So you've got an advantage there. They view themselves as consulting firms view themselves as a private army. So they like They like the crossover from the real Army. Uh, I think your chances, let's just deal with the facts we have, okay, which is the 272 and the 700 GMAT. Just, I think your chances of getting into these to Cornell and Texas are, man, maybe 20%. And Duke, maybe that, maybe a little less. If you really want to go to business school, I'd pick someplace that was safer. These are okay schools, but none of them are safe.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a 730 GMAT, that might help because that's like your dowry. So that's the way I stack you up. Does that sound about right? Is there anything about you that I haven't heard from that we haven't discussed yet?
No, I'm just thinking I'll find some other schools in the Boston area as well, New York area that would be a good fit as well. That's what I'll be looking at for region of schools that might be a little easier.
Yeah. I'm going to sign off with this WinSec school where you were instructing cadets from all the world of armies in Spanish. Business schools love that. You should present yourself as someone who is a dual citizen, someone who knows a lot about Latin America, someone who in the Army was assigned to teach cadets from Latin American armies. And and what you want to do is join these consulting firms and work in their Latin American offices. That's the way you should present yourself. Do some homework on where McKinsey's offices are in Latin America, and ditto Bain and BCG. That would be the way to optimize your chances. I think you can get into a big 3 consulting firm, given the military and Latin American cards. You're going to have to just hustle. Okay, mm-hmm. I'm rooting for you. It's just that you got the 272 is hard to make go away. I'm just giving it to you straight, man. So you have to explain that in your application. Who's writing your recommendations?
My recommendations will be coming from my current and previous company commanders, so my first line supervisor.
Okay, they can talk about your leadership, and they should talk about your leadership. They should talk about your leadership of people who themselves did not go to college. I take it that's the case with a lot of the guys in the Army, right?
Every officer needs a college degree, so all my supervisors have been to school. I think.
Yeah, but what I'm suggesting is when they write a recommendation, they should say what was particularly impressive about William's leadership was he was leading people who themselves, the people you were leading often do not have college degrees. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, that's important. Because business schools would say, boy, this guy really is a leader, and this guy has a lot of Latin connections and dual citizen, Spanish fluency. That's the way you got to present yourself. Man of the people, Latin American connections, want to be a consultant, and sound like you've researched. Make a case why you're going to have. make a case that you've explored getting hired by the big three by doing some homework on their Latin American offices and connections.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That would help. You want to put, you've got to present, given the 272, you really have to present yourself as a bullet with a real plan, you know, and it's, the 272 is not going to predict it, and you've got a lot going for you. That's the way you have to, which is all true. So that's the way you present yourself. Okay, good luck and adios.
Awesome, thank you.